From the far reaches of the Milky Way galaxy, it's Retro Nerd Girl with a watch, react, and review for you. Now, let's see what's on Amazon today because I want to review something. Let's see. Ooh, I got a good one right now. This is a good one. Hologram Man, released in 1995. I've never seen this one, so based on the poster alone, it looks hilarious. So I can't wait to see this. This is probably exactly the kind of happy schlock I'm looking for. Okay, the synopsis. Terrorist Norman Gallagher was sentenced to holographic stasis. During his parole hearing, his comrades bust him out, but it changes him into an invincible hologram wreaking havoc for his rival, Detective Dakota. This is starring Joe Lara, Evan Laurie, and Michael Nouri. Evan Laurie also wrote the story, and he also co-wrote the screenplay. So, this is also directed by Richard Pepin. Before the film starts, if you get this on Amazon, you're going to get a 3-minute trailer. And unfortunately, this trailer is a truncated version of the film, actually. Tells you way too much and ruins some of the surprise. So you can just skip that and get to the raw experience of it at the timestamp 3:14. All right, 20 minutes in, we get 2 ridiculous action scenes right off the bat. Before we even get to the main setup for the film, 20 minutes in. One of the action scenes is really heavily inspired by Speed, as Slash Gallagher uses a bus as a decoy to assassinate the governor. His scheme is ridiculously elaborate, and it really makes very little sense in the story so far, but it sure is a spectacle as he kills the governor and our protagonist's partner, played by the amazing John Amos, who doesn't have enough screen time in this film. Ultimately, his reasoning for doing all of this is to overthrow the government and return the power to the people. Being that he is sentenced to a holographic prison, his plan actually fails. And his unconventional prison sentence is a lot like the kind of imprisonment that exists in the world of Demolition Man, fully equipped with reprogramming as well. So there's even a similar kind of rhyme to the film's title, Demolition Man, Hologram Man. So 40 minutes into the film, here is where the film jumps 5 years to where Gallagher gets a parole hearing, and this is where he escapes. At the same time, we learn about what Dakota's been up to. And it's actually clear that Dakota's arc is really right at the beginning of the film, where he transforms from a rookie that does everything from the book to a man who is willing to do things unconventionally. He needs that edge, actually, because he needs to be a step ahead of the world's new criminals, that's existing in this futuristic society. These criminals are so highly organized and weaponized with so many deadly devices, and they really have a huge leg up on the cops. I mean, in this world, it's a SWAT day every day for the cops. Now, the future world is also a restricted city, it's supposed to be Los Angeles, owned by a company called CalCorp, and it's run by the president, played by Michael Nouri. And he's really just after power. He's out to just control the city, and he's doing it by any means necessary. It feels a lot like Demolition Man again. And if we weren't sure that they were using Demolition Man as a reference or as inspiration, there's actually a scene where Dakota's new partner calls him a demolition man. The president tries to use Dakota to get Gallagher, but there's actually a lot of tension between the two characters because Dakota can actually see something isn't right about this, the president, that he's really only after power, and he's always willing to sacrifice the citizens instead of, protecting them. So he's a very unscrupulous character. Gallagher's behavior is only what I can describe as violently erratic. And the film briefly explains it that he has some form of dementia. And I'm not sure that that's exactly the way dementia works, but I guess in 1995, that's what people thought of dementia, that you were just losing your mind. But not in a way of memory, but more like not being able to control your emotions. Evan Lurie, who plays Gallagher, and also, as I said before, wrote the story and the screenplay, is really into this role with incredible passion. And these are things that he wrote. These are words that he wrote. These are actions that he wrote for his character. So he's really loving it. He's really into it. He's giving it 100%. And he's eating all the scenes that he's in. And I love that kind of over-the-top charisma for my villain. And this kind of a silly story. It's not really well done, but it's definitely fun. It's not well done, but it's fun. Actually, it rhymes. Didn't mean to do that, but there you have it. It's an incredibly fun performance and wildly entertaining. I just couldn't get enough of it. I mean, we could just press replay on his performances, just gather up all of his performances and make a little video of that, and it would be hilarious. Or he makes me think of sort of like a love child between Demolition Man characters, John Spartan and Simon Phoenix on steroids. And literally so, because the rumor mill says that he was on steroids doing this production and had roid rage, as they call it, on the set. Now, this film uses themes from Darkman as well, released in 1990. Darkman is one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. But in that movie, the characters use liquid skin as a means of disguise and to cover up what's really hiding underneath. And as well, this movie utilizes one of the actors from that movie, Nicholas Worth, as One Eye. 1 hour in, after yet another vicious action scene, Dakota's new partner is killed by the battle that ensues between Gallagher's Mad Max looking guys and him and the police officers that again are not equipped. If you ever look at the gunfight scenes in this movie, it's kind of baffling because people just don't adhere to any kind of common sense when it comes to combat, at least gunfire combat, which it would be, and I'm not an expert at it, what I would think would be to take cover. There's a lot of gunfight moments in the film where I'm just like, no, you need to hide behind that pillar over there. You need to hide behind the car door or something. There's this really intense battle between Dakota and Gallagher. It's a bone-crushing fight padded with a lot of slow-motion body hurdles across the room and gunfire, which ultimately leaves Dakota in a state of distress, almost about to die. And of course, for the purpose of the film, Dakota's dying body is put onto a machine to turn him into a hologram so he can fight Gallagher man to man. The two hologram men are in a knockdown, drag-out fight in white leotards with a lot of beautiful, corny banter. I love that stuff. This is all the stuff that I live for. And it was quite a gratifying conclusion, although quite corny, but I loved it. Gallagher uses really extreme means to gain control of the city, but ultimately we get to know that he's not really interested in giving the city back to the people. He's really interested in having power too. So he's a lot like the president of CalCorp. They're basically two of the same people, cut from different cloths. So, just to sum things up, I really love this jam-packed, practical action bonanza of fire and explosions and, tons and tons of gunfights and pandemonium. I just, dare I say, it's action-packed almost to the point of fatigue, almost, because there are 8 huge action scenes. I mean, these are big productions, so they're really something for you to absorb. However, a lot of them don't mean anything in the film, but they're oh so glorious. And they're really mostly just there to pad out the time. And it really keeps the adrenaline pumping with explosions and ridiculous scenarios. It's a really fun, rewatchable movie if you're cool with bad, schlocky films with over-the-top villains and a mashup of a whole bunch of ideas from action movies from the 1990s. That's my watch, react, and review of Hologram Man, released in 1995, and I hoped you liked it. Let me know what you think of the film down in the comments. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can support the channel by doing so and hit the bell icon to be the very first to get my next review. This is Retro Nerd Girl signing off. Take care, movie lovers. I'm off to my next review.